Hello and welcome. This is Nantara Rai. We are out of our studios today to get you a big interview. It is with Deepinder Goyal of Zomato. Thank you for finally giving us this interview. Deepinder, the first question I want to ask you is, you're finally giving an interview and you're doing it after earnings. You said quarter se quarter tak nahi rahenge, long-term growth. One of the grouses has been, why doesn't Deepinder Goyal, the CFO, the rest of the management talk to media, talk to analysts, talk to shareholders? Is this a new Zomato? Are you finally listening to the markets?
I think a bit of both. I think we're also trying to get used to it, and we're also trying to learn on the job. What do we actually need to do? And we're trying to change, adapt.
So we will see more of Deepinder Goyal. We will see more interactions. Will I be here a quarter later?
I have no idea.
You're not willing to commit as yet. Okay. Deepinder Goyal, if you were to see what the last 1 year has been on the Lal Street, bittersweet. Started with a lot of mithas. It was very sweet. With a bang. Couldn't sustain it. More kadava later on. What happened?
I don't know. It just became bitter in about 10 days. It didn't take long. I think it was really good after the IPO. As I was telling someone that on the day of the IPO, it almost felt like what Sachin would have felt when you're walking out to bat. Okay? And it's not like you have scored a century or something. People are actually like cheering for you that you will do something good and really great. In 10 days, something changed, something flipped. I don't know whether the valuation became too high and that wasn't palatable for a section of people. I have no idea what happened. But in 10 days, the narrative shifted and we became evil. It's almost like rich is evil or large is evil. I don't know. I have no idea what happened, but something.
Do you think it might have been you? Because you've drawn this analogy with Sachin Tendulkar called God, the master blaster. Do you think it went to you, it went to the company, and then you just stopped listening to what the feedback might have been from the investor community?
No, that was much later. All of these things happened much later. And I'm just talking about the IPO and the amount of love we got. It is not about God or none of those things. We're just feeling really loved. And it just like flipped in 10 days.
You replaced ITC as the most memed stock on social media.
Is it? I don't know that.
Okay. Now the earnings that have just gone by, it's been an important milestone because you've finally broken even when it comes to food delivery. We now have a definitive timeline from you folks about profitability at no cost later than second quarter of the next financial year. Is this cast in stone?
Nothing is cast in stone in general. Like we can't tell the future of how life will look like. But actually, like I think we're so close to it, and if nothing else changes, this will happen, right? But see, we actually live in a dynamic market. We live in a dynamic world, so we don't control a lot of things that happen to us.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
What you do control, though, Deepinder, is how you spend the money and your capital allocation. I'm going to get to that in just a bit. But first up, food delivery broken even. How did it happen? Everybody wants to know, and everybody wants to know how will it stay sustainable. It's a duopoly. Your arch rival is not listed. Your arch rival can spend more money, can be more generous when for customer onboarding, etc. So how will you do it? How will you find that discipline?
I think the discipline in terms of being able to fight spending by somebody else with great work has already been there. As much as I know from various rumored sources, I think competition is already spending, I think infinite X of us now since we're actually profitable on that front. I mean, we're just focused on creating value for customers, and we're thinking that will win in the long term. Spending unnecessarily is a short-term market share gain tactic which doesn't really last, and we don't want to chase that anymore.
Okay. So there will be none of that crazy burn to onboard customers is what you're saying?
I hope so.
Hope so? So it's not out of the window, is it?
Who knows?
Huh?
Who knows?
You used to say...
Always have room for change, man.
Change is the only constant. So, when change is the only constant and you don't know how the market dynamics will work, so we'll work with obviously what we do know right now. So you may have had this break even. You want to bring down costs as well. Do you want to share with us on how that is going to take place?
No, I think we
Like, why
just.
should the markets take it seriously? Let me put it that way.
I mean, it's the market's choice to take it seriously or not. We're just stating what we know to be true.
Okay.
So, and we don't really control whether people take us seriously or not. And we're just trying to state facts to the best of our knowledge, and that's what we do.
Is this a new Zomato which is not going to say growth at any cost?
We never used to say growth at any cost.
You never said it?
We never said growth at any cost.
Because all of you are branded with that, right?
Yeah, all of us, or I actually don't know who all of us are, but we never used to be a growth at all cost mindset.
Capital allocation policy. Now that does have the street worried. I think we saw what the markets have reacted with when it comes to Blinkit, how they couldn't digest why this deal was happening in the first place. Why did you want to acquire Blinkit? Let's start from the basics.
I don't agree that the market responded badly or the shareholders responded badly. They were cautious, and our shareholders had questions, which we gave answers to. We actually did a conference call separately on the Blinkit deal as well. So I think that got taken really well, and we got 97% shareholder approval for the deal. So, I mean, the noise is noise.
So it's just noise. The markets have digested the deal.
I think so. And having said that, we didn't think of noise as noise, and we're listening to everything. We were just very, very sure that whenever we go on a conference call to answer all the questions that people have, we are able to take any kind of signal from the noise, and we should answer those questions, and that's what we did. And I think we're mostly able to answer pretty much 99% of the questions people had.
So let's talk about capital allocation policy. First up, how will you fund the Blinkit acquisition?
We have $1.4 billion in the bank, so
So you will spend that to buy Blinkit, and then you will spend the same 1.4 also to grow Blinkit and compete with Dunzo, backed by Reliance Industries, the Tatas, which want to get into the entire space as well. And of course, there are other smaller players, and Swiggy, which remains private.
I don't think of any of these things. We are a very small company in my mind, and we just continue doing our job. We just create value for the customers that we have. Competition is something that we don't think about, and we think it has served us well. So, and we're going to continue operating like that.
Okay, so we're getting insight into how Deepinder Goyal thinks. He doesn't care if Mukesh Ambani is backing Dunzo, which is going to be looking at quick commerce, or whether the Tata Group is also looking at quick commerce.
I didn't say I don't care. I said I don't think about it.
You don't? Oh, you. That was a big difference.
Compartmentalize, don't think, because there is no outcome. There is no positive outcome from me overthinking this, worrying about it. Nothing good is going to come out of it. We just have to execute well, and that's what we do.
Why are you so bullish on quick commerce? Why do you think that Indians will always want to have, whether it's groceries or stationery or electronics, or I don't know how many more categories you will add, in 10 minutes in the same country where you don't get healthcare delivery in 10 minutes or many other things? Why this?
So, see, we've seen the food journey over the last decade, and we know that the food business is breaking profit almost nowadays, and we know what's the nature of the business that works well, right? And all the signs and the data that we have for the Blinkit business so far, we think that's a better business in terms of customer cohorts, in terms of potential scale, all of those things. So whatever data we have so far, we just love the business, and we think that the synergies between these two businesses are also very, very high, and in the long term, business A will help us build moats for business B, and business B will help us build moats for business A. So it's going to be a cool thing to do. So that's what we're going at.
The other part of the deal which had people concerned was, has the Blinkit deal been done at arm's length? And I'll ask you why I'm saying this, and a lot has been talked about. Albinder Dinsa, who started Blinkit, his wife is Akriti Chopra. She used to be CFO here. Then, when the first time around the deal didn't happen, she was made Chief People's Officer. Then, when the deal was happening, she was made co-founder. How is this happening at arm's length? Is there no conflict of interest?
Are you?
Is there a quid pro quo?
I think let's just reframe the question if you want to. You're saying that she was made the chief people officer because the deal didn't
I'm
happen.
asking you.
You're
I've stated what the
their
timeline was.
Timeline was, but
Yeah.
you're hinting at the correlation between these
I'm
two things.
asking you, was there a relation?
Okay. There's absolutely nothing to do with both of these guys, right? So I think Akriti is actually our conscience in a way in terms of ethics and governance and all of these and all of the like good stuff. So she like herself wouldn't put anybody, including herself or anybody, in a like situation which is not fully clear, right? So she's always consciously stayed out of any like discussion, decision about Blinkit. She used to tell guys, don't even talk to me about it. Let me do my job. In terms of her role as chief people officer, like none of this comes under her purview as well, right? Even even if you look into the like future, Albinder's comp is not going to be Akriti's problem because everybody who actually reports to me, me and the NRC looks at the comps. Like, so Akriti has nothing to do with that. So
I'm sure they discuss it though.
yeah. So I'm just saying that we actually run a super clean process, right? So, and the board knows it. We are actually super proud of the governance practices that we follow. There's absolutely nothing to hide, and we don't have any kind of skeletons in the closet. And so that's actually who we are, and we can't really protect people from projecting what some of them would have done in their own life to what we do, right? So we're just, I think we actually learn from InfoEdge, and we want to actually beat them on corporate governance practices. But we are going to do what's the right thing for the business in the long term, and that has got nothing to. And I mean, we will actually do that while following the best of corporate governance practices, and that's what we do. Everything else is for us to. Everything else is for people to ask us and for us to answer, and which we are doing right now.
Where is Albinder Dinsai? He was supposed to be here. He's not here. Where is he?
He just told me you do like your job and I will do mine, so he's off visiting some stores. So.
Okay, so this is your job now? You're going to do more media interviews because it's taken us a year to get you here.
Yeah, I think I'll have to do more of this now.
Now even Albinder is ditching you on that front, no?
I think everybody will ditch me and make me do all of this. So.
Chalo, so it's like you say, it's back to being day one. You still say that, you think of yourself as small, but Deepinder Goyal, the fact is, it's not small. On the first day of listing as well, your market capitalization crossed 1 lakh crores. Look at that bumper listing. You're no longer privately held. This is, you have shareholders to think about, retail shareholders who've also lost a lot of money of late of what's happened with the Zomato stock. What's your message to them?
See, we are doing better and better as a company quarter on quarter. So the health of the business has only become better. We're growing better. We're growing faster. The team is in a great place. Whatever's happening to the stock, there's actually zero things under our control, except maybe we could have done conference calls earlier, but I don't think it would have changed the outcome. I think it's just like so many other factors beyond our control at play, and I think the company and the team is doing a great job. So I have zero thoughts. I can't control it. Why should I?
How often do you check the Zomato share price?
Only when somebody pings me, have you checked the Zomato share?
That must be happening a lot every day.
No.
Last 10 days, you must have got how many messages like this?
I think the last 4 or 5 trading days, I would have gotten 10 messages maybe.
Good, then it was going up.
No, going down.
Then it was going down.
Every day it goes up and down. No? So,
but it's sharp ho gaya tha na recently.
Yeah, it's fun for everybody. Everybody is having fun with our stock, so let them do whatever they want. It's all technicals there, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're also talking on a day where we've seen a large block deal. It's Uber. We all know how you were betting big with Uber Eats. It didn't work out, whatever. Now they've exited. It's a large block deal. What is the significance of the large block deal and at the price, around 50 rupees a share, signify as far as investor confidence goes?
I think there are multiple ways to look at this, right? So somebody wants to sell at whatever price. Has it something to do does it have something to do with us or does it have something to do with them? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just asking questions here, right? And I think, overall, I think there are new investors coming in, potentially long term, who are coming at this price. So for the long term future of the company, we are happy. Not that we can control any of these things, by the way, right? So it's everybody else who is doing what they're doing. But I think for the long-term future of the company, this churn might be good. I don't know how to react to this. Actually, there's nothing we can do by reacting to this as well. We just have to continue doing our job.
Okay. So you're saying that it may not impact investor confidence, and Uber, the entry point, since then it would have made money.
I think
that's the point.
They're 2.5x subscribed. I don't know. I mean, I've been getting this WhatsApp. I've been getting these WhatsApp messages that Uber stock was subscribed 2.5x or some other message said 4x. I have no idea what's the truth. But there is so much interest in buying the stock as well.
That gets a smile on your face.
It's good only, right? So it's great.
Okay. Who do you now go to for advice? Because, till the IPO, we read and heard so much about how Sanjeev Bikhchandani and Hitesh had sent you that message, and InfoEdge became the first investor. Then Mohit Bhatnagar of Sequoia Capital was, of course, there for your journey. Now, 1 year in, on the last street, bittersweet symphony, as I was calling it earlier, who do you now go to for advice? Who are your advisors?
So many people, I don't want to name them and put pressure on them. So, so many people.
But it's no longer Sequoia and InfoEdge.
Everybody, they are also part of the people that I go to. But there's so many people who have been there, done that, who have a lot of advice. Advice doesn't necessarily mean that you have to follow everything.
But you have no stock market advisors.
We don't look at the stock market, so we're just very, very focused on executing well, and we think that in the long term, the stock market will correct itself, or the stock price will catch up and normalize. Our job is not to react to. Our job is to not react to the stock market fluctuation.
And let that be a reflection of the work that you're doing.
Yes.
Provided it's properly communicated and not just with the fictitious Miss Sassy journalist.
Absolutely.
Okay. So moving on from that point as well. Now an era of free money is coming to an end. So, while we might talk about it duopoly, there is a value to money now, and fundraising has become difficult even for the giants. And I think that's being talked about a lot, which will bring in financial discipline as well. Will that mean that the users of Zomato and Swiggy have to get used to the fact that they may no longer get subsidized food, that the bills will go up?
I think our customers have not been getting subsidized food forever. There's never been a deep discounting era or anything. It's only we just discount for new customers to try out the platform for the first 3 orders or something. But our net discount is actually, I don't know, somewhere between 10 to 15%, I think 12% or something. I know the number, I just don't know whether I can give you the accurate number or not.
Now that you're listed.
Yeah, now that I'm listed. I'm still learning these things. But yeah, so it's not deep discounted at all. And I would say that the discount levels are what you used to get earlier when you used to place orders on the phone. So it's actually the same world with more certainty of when your order is going to come, with order tracking, you having choice. So it's the same price with more value add, which we bring to the table. So that's about it.
There's a lot that's also being discussed. That does a user pay more when they buy the same food item from Zomato versus going to the restaurant? Those bills have been shared, it's gone viral. What's that about?
So see, restaurants control pricing on their own. So far what we know is that a very small number, single digit, low single digit percentage of restaurants price higher. And yeah, we don't want to control it. We let restaurants do what they do. And generally the restaurants which do really, really well are the ones who don't do this. Right? Okay. Because the restaurants who are optimizing for short-term profit at the expense of customer trust are the ones who do such things, and they're very small number of restaurants. So the onus is on business owners to do this well. And in a cohort of like 200,000 business owners that we work with, not everybody is going to do the right thing. So it is what it is.
So will we start to see maybe a service charge or any such kind of fees from Zomato? Because, you also have to make money.
We're starting to make money. So,
Yeah, the second quarter of next financial year.
yeah, let's see.
So is that something that could be there?
Don't think so.
No?
I think service charge is never, I don't know, this is a new question. This is an answer disguised as a question, but we've never talked about a service charge inside the organization. So
Maybe I give you an idea to think about.
I don't think so.
As a user, I wouldn't want it, but I don't know whether...
No, we have to be customer conscious at the
Yeah.
end of the day. I don't think this will fly. So,
You also have, regulatory licenses awaited to have a payment gateway, etc. What is that? Is that going to be your version of Eat Now, Pay Later?
It's very internal. It's a very... actually, it's not even significant. Like, it's not... It's a very, very internal thing. We want to be fully, like, compliant with the law. And we don't want to do anything which puts us even in a gray spot. So therefore, we're just applying for licenses just to be absolutely safe in case somebody
मतलब
else.
कोई सारे licenses के लिए apply करते रहो?
Why not?
Okay.
कर लो. मतलब maybe we'll... And so let's say sometimes we have to use something. We can't wait for a 2-year process to and then start doing
Yeah.
something, right? So for like example, if we want to start lending to restaurant partners, NBFC license comes in play. If we want to share our payment processing infrastructure across multiple apps that we own, we are not sure whether we should get a payment gateway license or not. Like the law is gray. I don't know. I don't actually understand this well. So at the risk of being wrong, I would say that's why we applied for the payment gateway. These are very little things actually, not
But is
significant
this something you
at
want
all.
to do, which is because you always want to do everything related to food, right?
We don't want to do B2C fintech at all. No chance.
So there will be no monthly clearing of bills? Because that was an idea that you had.
I don't know, but
Maybe consumers can pay at the end of a month, clear up their bill. That was something you were thinking of?
we have never thought about it. Like,
Okay.
I mean, we have talked about it, but it has been a, okay, not now, later kind of a thing. The payment gateway or the NBFC license has not been applied to in this context for sure.
Okay. Where will Zomato be as per your vision? And let's take a longer term vision, which is what you also like to talk about, and not quarter se quarter tak. Let's say 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. What is the long term vision?
I think we want to impact food in a big way, and Zomato is now taking care of people ordering food from restaurants. Blinkit is also targeting cooking at home now, right? And Hyperpure is actually doing the farm to fork thing. So we have just covered the food system as a whole, and we just want to make sure people have access to better food at cheaper prices at the end of the day, and we want to be able to create that value and fix a lot of things that are broken in the food value chain. So that's what we want to do.
How's Hyperpure doing? There's a buzz that Hyperpure is turned out to be better and bigger than that was initially envisaged.
And if you benchmark it to the ambitions that we have for the business, it could be 10x of its current size right now as well. Right? I think the opportunity that they have in front of them is huge, but the infrastructure that they are having to set up to be able to build a business of their dreams, I think it's taking longer than we thought it would.
Okay.
Supply chains are broken. We're doing a lot of groundwork to be able to fix it and have a predictable service for the customers that buy from us. And I think infrastructure also helps build moats. So that's what Hyperpure is doing. It's slow and steady, but right now it's accelerating really well.
I'm asking this question because, like I said, it's a duopoly, and last time when a fundraise was done by Swiggy, Shirsha Majetti in his communication said, Instamart can be bigger than food delivery. I want to know what Zomato's thinking is. Can Blinkit become bigger than food delivery? Can Hyperpure and Blinkit become bigger than food delivery?
I mean, theoretically, yes.
Theoretically, anything is possible.
Theoretically, not everything is possible. Theoretically, you have to be really, really theoretical, right? So I think the grocery TAM is bigger than restaurant TAM right now. So theoretically, Blinkit could be bigger than Zomato, and we hope that it does become bigger than Zomato. Why not? I don't have ego in terms of which business should be bigger, as long as both are growing as much as they can. So yeah, I don't know. I think the opportunity and headroom for both these businesses, or all three of these businesses, feeding India as well, right? So I think it's huge. It's tremendous. It's quite a lot. I think we'll have to work really hard and actually mis-execute really well to miss that bus.
Okay, so right now you don't know, but you're just going to bet on all of it.
And so far, all the signs point to that, okay, both of these things are going to be huge now. But I mean, how the market evolves, shapes, what are the dynamics, which ends up becoming bigger, it's anybody's guess here.
But for all of this, you're also going to, of course, need the support of the gig workers. Now, I take the point. You have, you're educating their children. You've come out with various plans for them as well. At the same time, a lot is said. Is Zomato endangering the gig workers, the delivery fleet, because there's pressure on them to go drive fast, whether it's for Blinkit or for others? Now there are pictures that are being shared about how in the blistering heat and with petrol prices going up, they were on cycles. The fact is, you can't really have a good business if they're not with you.
Absolutely, and I think there's a lot of perception reality gap there as well. Our NPS from our delivery partners is very high. It's actually at its peak, more than the customer NPS that we have right now. Yeah. And 92% of the partners that we have, they actually love working with us, right? And there's a small section of, then there is a lot of noise and demand for social security, and we are all up for it, but the average time span that a delivery partner stays with us is 2 months. It's a very in-between job for people.
Oh.
Okay? So nobody wakes up in the morning saying that, hey, I'll do this for the rest of my life, right? We have 7% weekly churn. 7% weekly churn. So what's the point of thinking and talking and debating about social security when our average time span in this job for anybody is 2 months? And people are not saying that they're not happy with this job, therefore they're leaving after 2 months. They're saying, okay, I had a job, I'm going to start a job, or I'm going to look for other permanent, stable, at-home job. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to do this to feed my family. So that's the whole point of view. The option is to not have a job versus have this, and that's what people do. And I think this job is for a lot of people to upgrade themselves in terms of the socio-economic backgrounds that they come from, and puts them on a different orbit, and then they go beyond that. So this is not supposed
But is there any pressure on them to deliver in a certain
Zero.
time? Because on Blinkit, there is a countdown.
There is a count, but they don't see the counter.
Okay.
It's actually a user-driven counter, and we just work on data saying that there is a 95% chance that this guy will actually get to you on time. Our partners have zero times flashing that this is a time at which they are asked to do it at their own pace, right? And most of them do. Some of them don't. And we just have to figure out who are the ones who are actually repeatedly being late, who are actually the ones who are stopping for smoke breaks while they have an order in their hand. And we just politely, gradually train them that, guys, don't do this. Just first finish the order, then come and do whatever you want, right? So let's just have a good work ethic is what we continue.
And you
to
don't
train
cut their pay as well if they're late? Because that was another concern that had been raised.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
You
not.
said you want to have corporate governance standards that will be better than InfoEdge India and better than what Mr. Sanjeev Bikhchandani has put out for himself.
He has set a very high bar for us, man.
But do you also want to be a Sanjeev Bikhchandani by becoming an InfoEdge?
No, we don't want to become an
Because remember, that is also some people have said, why is Zomato investing in all of this?
We are us, he's him.
Huh.
We're two different people.
Will you continue to invest in startups? but if you don't want to be an Info Edge or a Tencent, you want to be the Zomato of India, but will you continue to do that, invest in other startups?
That's not the mission statement that we have on the table at all. And see, we have always been about building hyper-local commerce. And whatever we've done at that point was to actually enable the hyper-local commerce building business that we were trying to build. And right now we're done. I think we have all the pieces in place. There's nothing new coming.
That's the headline. We are done. All the pieces are in place. Because this is part of a mission statement of sorts in one of the earning reports. I think the second quarter when you come out last year. So you're done. So that's a big headline for capital allocation.
Until something does change, and we don't see
something
anything.
Lucrative comes up.
Not lucrative. I mean, lucrative is we're not VCs or we're not a private equity fund whose job is to just make money from anything that comes your way. Our job is to stick to the mission that we have, and our mission is hyperlocal commerce, food, and we're going to stick to it. And if something comes across, and if we actually come across something which helps us in a big way to achieve the mission, we would take that up. But it's all theory, right? Because we have all the pieces in place and there's nothing in the pipeline. And we're not even thinking about anything.
Okay, but that is certainly good to know. And I think the markets will want to hear this. So that's
we've been telling that for the last 2 quarters now.
When I was driving for this interview, coming from Delhi, I went on the Zomato app. And here's where I saw that the instant food is around here. So it's not where I live. So that's how I figured out. So what, it's gone beyond the experimenting stage?
There's only 2 kitchens, and so you're here in our office. So this is our first pilot kitchen. So we're still figuring it out.
Tell us more. I mean, obviously it's going to be...
Delivery in 7 minutes.
Oh, it'll be 7 minutes over here. So
the rider takes a minute here.
I missed breakfast to cover this interview. So
it's actually very, very close. You can almost walk out and you will hit the
So kya milega? What all is there in it?
There are about I think 65, 70 items now. We've been, what we've done is we've curated some of the highest selling, highest rated dishes from various restaurants. And we put them in the instant kitchen hub that we have, and it's sort of a distribution hub for multiple restaurants. But they are actually not able to put their entire menu here. Only a couple of dishes from each restaurant, and then you would have butter chicken from one place, which is
butter chicken also.
Yeah, I have butter chicken also, and.
I love butter chicken. Sorry for the exclamation.
And so many times, even if I cook food on my own for my lunch by ordering from Blinkit, I find it easier and faster to order from Zomato Instant. Because by the time I go around, microwave my food and then sit down to eat, it's just Zomato Instant, there is 7 minutes on my table. So
there'll be pressure on your canteen guys, no? I mean, for the canteen.
Do you not have pressure at your job? You have pressure at your job.
No, I'm in
everybody who works has some kind of pressure.
Yeah, I agree.
What is this obsession about not having pressure? Everybody should have pressure.
I deliver better when I'm under pressure. I'm
Absolutely,
one of those.
Everybody does. There should be some kind of manageable pressure for everybody. Right? It should not lead to mental health issues. It should not lead to physical health issues. But there should be some kind of pressure. People have to meet their timelines. You have to meet your timelines. I have to meet my timelines.
Correct.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
So that's it.
So when will we see this instant food delivery being rolled out outside of the Zomato office?
We don't know.
No? So
We don't know.
Because you were at one point thinking of maybe delaying it.
No, there is no delay or there is no anything. We've just been patiently piloting it out, ironing out what kind of dishes. Because see, we actually understand that this kitchen, whatever is the formula that works here, might not be the formula that works on the road next to us, right? So hyper local, things really change. So we're just we have a second kitchen. I think maybe 3 kitchens now. I think the 3rd one is opening this week. So, and we're just trying to figure out what's the difference between these 3 and what is how we can pick the right things for that particular location versus this versus that. Once we have it really figured out, that's when we are going to go and scale it. We also have to make a good monetary business case for it yet.
Yeah.
And we have to make sure that it doesn't make us lose our pants. So,
so you're just given a deadline also.
Yeah. So all of these things have to fit under that framework of, okay, this business has to make profit. So
the markets since the earnings are still digesting, that this is a company that's talking about a shorter timeline for hitting profitability, because in the middle you are delayed it. You said, why should I even answer those questions and things like that. They'll want to know how it's being done, which obviously you're not going to share your trade secrets, right? But will it come primarily at the expense of what? Advertising and marketing? Because your unit economics, you've been around for a while now, you've got that figured out. Or that is the part that you need to figure out?
I think first of all, we never said that we don't want to answer these questions. We used to not answer these questions because we didn't have good answers for them. Okay. Now that we are closer to the timeline, we have good answers. Therefore, we told everybody what we're actually up to. In terms of how we are going to get there, it's a mix of so many things here. The business is complex, and there's so many levers, and there's so many seesaws as well. If you actually take this up, this goes down. So it's a fine balance, and we've been able to tune it to this point, and we think that a lot of initiatives in the pipeline, even if half of them work, will actually meet the timeline. So there's a 50% chance, even at 50% chance, we should be able to meet our goals, I hope.
As long as it's not eternal and you enter the green, I'm sure you can guess my next question. We've accessed that thing that you wrote to all employees on Slack.
You always do.
What is eternal?
How do you get everything in half an hour, in spite of me telling everybody that they can't share it with anybody?
Thank you. Thank you for saying it on camera. Eternal, basically you're playing with eternal, resilient, will be around forever. Will Zomato stay Zomato? Will that also externally become eternal one day?
Zomato will stay Zomato. Eternal is a very internal brand name for now. We're just actually preparing the mindset of the Zomato team to make sure that they don't treat the Blinkit team as a stepchild once the merger actually happens. Right? We want these two teams to be at par, peers to each other and equals to each other, right? Because Blinkit is a large business on its own as well. So it's just the Facebook meta. Why did Facebook call its corporate organization Meta? Because they didn't want Instagram to feel like a stepchild.
No, it was for Metaverse.
Maybe,
they did it later,
but Google Alphabet. There's so many different reasons. But we're in the same zone, right? That we want. Eternal is also more of a cultural HQ for us rather than a corporate HQ for us. That's how we are sort of thinking it through. And we want to make sure that the businesses are at the same level, and the people flow between all businesses should be actually seamless. So culturally, they should feel part of one single entity. There should be no internal wars between Zomato and Blinkit people. So it's sort of a cultural rejig for us. Nothing changes for the customer, nothing changes for our business partners, nothing, absolutely nothing.
And this will be run by Albinder only, right? Because
Blinkit will continue to be run by Albinder.
Okay.
Yeah. And Zomato is already being run by Mohit and Rahul, right? So for the most part,
so you chill. You come up with phrases like eternal. You strategize. Do you
really let me chill? There is no chill in life. So.
Okay. Before we come to an end of the interview, now Deepinder, you've been around for a while, but I want to ask you one question. You went to IIT Delhi. Albinder Dinsa was also in IIT Delhi. There was another gentleman in IIT Delhi, Ashneer Grover. We've all seen what's happened. He recently tweeted also, prodding fun at the stock price, saying it's a bit acha to Swiggy le lena chahiye tha. What do you say for your, I don't know if he was your batchmate, but at least same alma mater?
I think it's more about what do you do than what do you say. And what I do is just breathe in, breathe out and let it go.
Are you friends?
With Ashneer? No, I don't know him.
Did you know him in IIT?
No.
You didn't know him in IIT?
No.
Now you must know him.
No.
Shark Tank, so you must know him.
I have not seen Shark Tank.
You didn't watch Shark Tank?
No, I didn't watch Shark Tank.
I find that very, very interesting. You've never met him?
I've met him once for a couple of minutes at some event, that's it.
Because he and Albinder used to work together. He was part of Growth,
I know that.
right? So, the Dean of Valuations, Dr. Aswath Damodran, said before the IPO, fair valuation of Zomato 41. He's now made it 35 rupees. Did you read about that? Did you read his analysis? What do you have to say?
I don't have anything to say. It's up to everybody else to value us. Our job is to, I think valuation is up to everybody else. Our job is to create value for our customers, for our business partners, for the business that we are in, employees, and we continue to do that. Valuation is everybody else's mood and what they feel about us. It's okay.
I know you still says day one, but you've been around now for a while. Which was the toughest phase in Zomato for you? When did you think that up kya, up khatam, choppat?
Happens every day, twice a day, I would.
Up to it doesn't look choppat, no?
I think it's actually very, very different, right? So wherever you get to, your like ambitions also grow further beyond what they used to be. So I mean, I still find my job very hard, very, very like challenging, and I think I still push myself quite a lot in terms of becoming better, in terms of growing, and also helping other people in the team grow. I think it's a tough job. So and I hope it actually continues being the same. I don't want it to become easy at all. So.
You work better under pressure? Are you at your best when you're under pressure?
Yes. So yeah, even if there is no like external pressure, I would create pressure for myself. We'll just set very lofty goals for ourselves. I mean, I'd say 20% of the reason why we actually disclosed the profitability timeline to everybody was to also create pressure for ourselves. Right? Accountability, right? So we just ended up creating accountability for us as well as the team. That guys, we know we were going to like get there. Now we should, right? So it just like bridges that gap.
These are the headlines are so sad also, you know. They come with a lot of layoffs. Is that something that's going to happen at Zomato?
We don't foresee any of that, but I mean, we have been always, see, we've gone through these cycles of.
You've done it before, so
we're
leaner, I would imagine.
We're
than
very
newer
lean.
startups.
We're like super lean already. So we have been through this phase of having to lay off to save our life once in 2015 and then right after COVID. We don't want to be that company again. So it's a very hard phase for everybody to go through.
Yeah.
I think it just like almost feels like depression for everybody for a couple of months. So I'm not taking that lightly, but so we don't want to be there. So we are very, very conscious about fixed cost nowadays, and since forever now, for the last few years.
You come from a small town in Punjab, and now you've arrived. You know, it's an amazing story.
I don't feel like that though.
How do you stay? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to ask you. How do you stay grounded? Are you grounded? Do you think you're grounded?
What do you think?
I've just got to know you.
I don't know.
I'll tell you honestly. Till I didn't meet you, I didn't think you were grounded. After I met you, I knew you were grounded.
So I think that's the difference, right? So I think I'm straightforward. I don't have a filter between my head and my mouth. So I speak my mind. And people who don't know me think I'm arrogant, I'm not grounded, but I think I'm very, very curious, humble, transparent, everything, right? So I think, but my like self-image could be off, I don't know.
Did you do anything for all the success to not get to your head? Because that's also very important, right?
I have a lot of people around me who keep telling me that I suck at my job. So
They keep bringing you back down.
including everybody else outside the company as well. So, so
they keep saying,
there is no peace.
bad job, you keep getting ball up
Bad
all
job.
day.
You're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong. And a lot of times we're like, guys, we're not doing any of these things that you're telling us that we're doing wrong. So, but it like certainly helps us stay grounded.
Yeah. Do you think you'll ever want to give time to today's youngsters who are starting off as entrepreneurs? Because time is also money. You're also building this enterprise. You are being pulled from every angle. Do you think you'll ever do that?
I've thought about this quite a few times, and I've stayed away. I generally don't even go out and meet people.
You're very introverted, yeah, you're very
I don't even go
introverted.
meet people. Like I haven't met like Ashneer, I haven't met a lot of the founders in Delhi NCR as well. So I just like stick to my job. I think the biggest service I can do to the country is to build and like inspiring eternal organization, right? So if we're able to do that, and I know we'll go through ups and downs and the learning curve that I will go through and all of us will go through, I think that's one of the best things we can do, and we're just trying to do that. And I'm hoping everybody will watch and learn as much as we have to teach people.
Is that why you blog so often? Because you kind of document it. I went through every blog you wrote before the IPO, and you blog a lot.
I think I just like generally write better than I talk because I stammer as well. So I've been stammering forever in my life, And that's why I use a lot of like filler words just so that I don't stammer. So talking is not my comfort zone. So writing is my comfort zone. That's why I vlog a lot.
Okay.
And nowadays I'm forcing myself to talk and get better. So this is another like phase of self-growth for me, and I'm hoping I'll make it.
I really like the use of your Oxford commas, by the way, when you write, because a lot of people don't use the
I'm very, very like proper. I'm very, very proper. When
Are
I
you a
write.
grammar Nazi?
For myself, yes, not for others.
Not for. Are you a perfectionist?
In terms of product quality, yes. Like in terms of ethics, yes. In terms of a lot of things, yes. But I don't generalize it to everything in life. There are like some things I really care about, and I would want like 100 out of 100 score on those things. But there are a lot of things I don't understand or I don't care about. So
So
I
you're
let
not
them go.
bothered with that.
At least yet.
Do you have work-life balance, or are you one of those crazy workaholics?
I don't even believe in the concept of work-life balance. I think people who think of work as work, they need work-life balance. For me, I'm actually privileged to do what I do. So it's just an amazing amount of fun.
Because you love what you do.
I just absolutely love what I do.
But are you that understanding about others? Zomans may not love what they're doing. It's a livelihood for them.
Absolutely. So we have like infinite leave policy. People can do whatever they want. I strongly like believe that people only produce as much work as they want to, not as much as you ask them to,
Yeah.
right? So you just like have to leave people to do whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do, and they're going to bring their best to work because that's their ceiling of how much they will bring to work.
Okay.
So yeah,
I was going through your older photographs. You're a big guy, and you're in the food business. How did you do it? Are you bitten by the intermittent fasting bug? You don't order enough on Zomato? Like what?
I think
Because that's also a full-time job. Losing weight is a full-time job.
losing weight is a full-time job, and I think in my journey I think I've lost like 25 kilos of fat over the last 3 years, and most of it is because I've been ordering from Zomato every day.
What a shameless plug.
No, it's not a shameless plug. It's actually true. I think wheat is terrible for all of us, right? And we don't actually know that enough. And I just like stopped eating home rotis and I started losing weight. All my markers, all my health markers, I get my blood tests every like couple of months. Everything is super good now. And it's all because I don't have wheat.
So that's your secret?
That's my secret.
Do you think you work better as well? Because once you're
my
healthier,
brain
you obviously
fog,
work
my
better.
like brain fog, my like mental clarity, a lot of things have become better over time just because I don't have wheat. Wheat is a thing that I just like don't touch anymore.
It's only protein and vegetables.
Protein and vegetables.
That's it.
And it's easier to get that kind of food when you're actually ordering in. Cooking that stuff is hard and takes
Do you
time.
cook?
I cook breakfast sometimes.
Which is what? Cereal?
Vegetables and eggs, yes.
Everything else is from Zomato?
Yeah.
Everything else you eat from...
Yeah.
What's your favorite on Zomato right now? What is Deepinder Goyal's favorite dish right now on Zomato? Or restaurant?
I think it would be just like protein and some veggies, like in different forms and shape and fat, and I just like keep switching, experimenting. There's no one thing. So
Are we going to start seeing health markers and those type of things on Zomato?
it's already launched a couple of weeks ago. So
Okay.
we're getting nutrient information in terms of this dish has this much protein, this much fat, these many carbs, and so on and so on. So we're just starting to include all of that information on the platform. You should very soon be able to, I think you can already search that within the healthy zone, but we'll also bring it to the
Are
front.
the restaurants willing to share that information?
Whoever has it is willing to share, and we're just like working with restaurants to bring more and more of this information.
Is all good with
on.
restaurants now? Love hate to hai.
होता ही है मतलब when does there is not going to be 100% clarity on everything anywhere, it's right. So my conversation with everybody at least now has come down to, guys, let's say there are like 20 issues that we have to talk about, and let's say there are two of those 20 which are the most crucial or the hardest ones to solve. Can we please talk about these through at the end? Let's just solve the rest of the 18 first, right?
Yeah.
Because they're actually easier to solve. Let's just get them past. Let's just solve them. Because these two, we've been stuck on these two for the last 3 years now. Nothing has moved, right? It's because we don't understand each other well. So can we just talk through everything else first and let's just solve those things, and maybe once we build trust with each other that we are actually truly on the same side, we'll be able to solve the first two better as well, right? I think that is the conversation that we are having.
Okay.
I'm hoping it bears fruit.
Okay, so with that, we've covered a lot of ground. Thanks a lot for this interview, Deepinder Goyal, and I hope you'll invite us again next quarter.
Thank you so much.
And not Miss Sassy, but a real journalist, and me and Eatina.
Miss Savvy is also good. Thank you so much, Nandara.